When we picture the Arabian Nights, we immediately think of familiar icons bursting onto the screen: Aladdin, Ali Baba, and Sinbad the Sailor. But these characters were originally conceived as a desperate defense mechanism. They were drafted by a single person to stall an impending execution. The real architect of these tales is a woman named Scheherazade, and her storytelling was a literal nightly survival strategy. This anthology represents a high-stakes hostage negotiation, carefully disguised as evening entertainment. To understand how those stories came to be, we have to look at the environment that demanded them: an ancient, powerful kingdom gripped by sudden, paralyzing terror. The crisis began at the very top. King Shahryar suffered a devastating personal betrayal by his own wife. Unable to process the deception, the king's grief quickly metastasized into absolute paranoia and madness. He established a horrific daily ritual to ensure he could never be betrayed again. He would marry a new woman every day and execute her the very next morning. Scheherazade voluntarily stepped into a situation where logic, diplomacy, and pleading had entirely failed. Her only remaining weapon to survive the morning was psychological manipulation through storytelling. Her strategy begins the moment she marries the king. On her wedding night, she starts reciting a captivating tale. This timeline illustrates her technique. A suspense curve rises sharply, stopping abruptly at dawn, her scheduled execution. Trapping the king in curiosity, his need for closure pushes the deadline back daily. Zooming out reveals the overarching frame narrative. Her survival contains these nightly loops. To keep this manipulation running night after night, Scheherazade needed to pull from a massive, geographically diverse library of material. This map highlights the specific folk traditions she wove together: ancient tales originating from Arabia, Persia, and India, all converging into her single nightly performance. On the surface, she entertained him with a chaotic mix of magical genies, thrilling high seas adventures, and intricate romances. But buried beneath those genres was a hidden payload. She embedded subtle moral lessons within the plots, strategically designed to quietly reflect the king's own flaws and cruelty back to him. The Arabian Nights operate as a meticulously curated psychological mirror, carefully calibrated to treat a tyrant's broken mind. To survive, Scheherazade maintains this grueling, high-wire act of storytelling and suspense for exactly 1001 nights. Over those nearly 3 years, the cumulative weight of the empathy, morality, and romance she injects into her stories slowly begins to dismantle the king's trauma. Eventually, his hostility breaks. He acknowledges his own healing, permanently abolishes the brutal morning executions, and pardons Scheherazade. Her survival proves that narrative is a tool capable of dismantling tyranny from the inside out. Scheherazade successfully navigated her history, leaving behind a vast library of material for us to explore today. In this new video series, we are going to dive into that massive collection, unpacking these iconic tales one by one over 101 nights. Keep watching and supporting the channel as we open the book on the very stories that kept Scheherazade alive.